What's going on YouTube? It's your boy RTY here, and today we're here to talk about some red green smoker and also show you guys some gameplay. I'm super excited to talk about this deck. I think it's definitely my favorite leader out of OP10, which is pretty surprising. I don't think this was a leader that I was expecting to really enjoy as much as I do, but I've been just playing them nonstop on the ladder and just playing some games. So I thought we could do a simple, just talk about the list, talk about the cards in the list, and do some using the new ranked replay feature, show you some gameplay from the ranked ladder, talk about it. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so starting things off here, for Otama, for Beckman, this is pretty consistent here in OP10. I think this line does change in OP11 because we kind of get more consistency with our 2Ks, and we also get another searcher alongside Virgo. But for now, I think Beckman Otama is really strong. You're able to remove some things. Beckman on curve always feels good in a lot of matchups as well. So maybe potentially even OP11, this is something that doesn't even change as much. Like at least the Beckmans, the Otamas maybe not so much. But for now, four of each. For Virgo, this is just our searcher. Searches for Sanji, Chopper, Monet, most importantly, Smoker, Tashigi. Also our event card, so it has a lot of targets that we need, but really just here to help us find things and allow us to continue to play on curve, which is mostly what this deck wants to do. After that, we're on 4 Sanji. This card is insane. This card is cracked. It is a 3 cost 3k, but on our turn, it gets plus 3,000, so it's a 3 cost 6k. And then on our opponent's turn, due to our leader effect, it gets plus 1,000, so it's a 3 cost 4k on their turn. So it's not, unless they're a removal deck, it's actually not the easiest thing to clear on curve. So at some points, they can just swing 5 into 4. And if you have a 2k for it and you feel like you could play aggro enough, it's worth countering for. So this card's insane. Also, the Tony Chopper 2K is insane. It's insane in every deck because it's a 4 cost 6k blocker with 2k counter attached to it. But in our deck, it's even more insane because it is a 4 cost 7k blocker. So on our 4 dawn turn or even late game, when we need to body up or block her up and protect ourselves, this is the best one to do it with, just because 4 cost, but most importantly, that 7k power is just super hard to get over. So super strong card. This card's essential in most aggro matchups as well, just kind of limiting their swings early game. It is a 2k counter out of hand that you lose, but you kind of get that value back from it being a 7k blocker. So 2 Monet, this card is insane. This card is cracked, one of the better cards in the deck. When you have to play and swing for board, you pair it along with like something like a Hody Jones or something like that, you're pretty much able to clear a lot of things. The deck is super strong when you need a clear board, and Monet really helps with that. I find that it's not a lot of times that you need a clear board. Usually, you know, on a Hody turn, you can Hody, restand 2 Dawn, play Monet, put 2 Dawn on Hody and -1 something. So like that combo is very strong and you're able to clear board that way. So Monet is super cracked card, 2 of. In some cases, I've seen lists do 3. I personally wouldn't do 3 because that situation, while it does happen pretty frequently, doesn't happen frequently enough for me to justify a 3 of, but a 2 of for sure. And then I'm on 2 of Monkey D. Luffy. This card is just insane. We're a red deck. It's just an insane tempo piece. I think this card is why my list specifically has not lost a Blackbeard on the rank ladder. Just because that curve allow you to get that little bit of extra oomph to close out games is very essential. So those are basically the red cards aside from Rad Beam. We're on 3 of the Igloo events. Usually I see like 3 Mole Pistol, 2. I think either one is fine. Mole Pistol is pretty good in this deck and pretty, you know, a nice C, but not as essential. So I cut it down to a 2. And then my Virgo was missing a lot. And since this card is Punk Hazard, I brought it back. I brought it up to a 3 just to make my searches a little bit more consistent. And so far it hasn't been too bad. So yeah, that's the red side of it. The green side of it, obviously, is we're playing 8 cost Kid. This is one of our boss monsters alongside Hody Jones. Endgame, it's really good, except for the fact that this card is worthless against Zoro. It's worthless against Red. Kind of almost in general, unless you have Tashigi, and maybe if they have Mole Pistol, if they're Zoro or ST21 Luffy or something like that, and they're running Mole Pistol, even some Shanks list. I played a rank game today and got hit by 3 mole guns. So, you know, It was super hilarious and unfortunate, but you know, it does happen. So 4 kids, and it has to be a 4 of, just because this card is unsearchable, and in a lot of matchups we do need to see it. So 4 of there, and since you're playing 4 there, you play 4 Rosinante, just a good 2-cost blocker. Makes your board able to protect your board a lot easier, because you want to be able to protect things like your smoker. And then so once you set up the wall with Kid, Tashigi, and Rosinante, it's really hard to get through Kid. So other than that, Hody Jones, 4 of, probably my favorite card in the deck. Just allows you to clear board, allows you to get lethal against purple decks. This card is the MVP, being able to tap down a Dawn, get rid of Giant and stuff like that. Very strong card. Like I said, probably, in my opinion, this is the best green card in the game, and I don't think it's close. Just being able to, this allows you to get so much tempo on board on 7 Dawn. So Hody, very strong card. MVP of this deck, though, while Hody Jones is the GOAT, Smoker, man, this card allows you, paired with your leader effect, to get so much value. Not only a 7k banish, just absurdly strong, and it will always be strong. But the ability to restand 3 Dawn a turn, so 1 off of the character and 2 off your leader ability, allows you to do some insane things. So for 7 Dawn, right? Say you already have a smoker on field, you can play a smoker, and so you can have 2 smokers on field, which is already strong. That's 2 7k banishes. And then you use your leader effect and smoker effect as well. And then you can play Luffy and then swing 7. On 7 Dawn, mind you. You played 10 Dawn worth of characters and your 6k swung 7. So very strong card. And then you pair it with Tashigi for the protection. It's really annoying. They can't answer the smoker on curve, which is chef's kiss for us. They have to answer the Tashigi. And if they don't answer the Tashigi on curve, by the time we get to Kid turn, and if we have Rosinante in hand, the wall is set up, it's very hard to get through. So that's the deck list. It's very fun. It's probably my most fun leader of the set. And I think it's very strong. I think this is very strong into the meta right now. I think that you have a close matchup with Shanks. You have a winning Blackbeard matchup. You have a losing Zoro matchup, but I'm not sure if that's the end of the world just yet. I'm not sure how popular we can expect Zoro to be later on as the meta develops. The one drawback is just, like, you are still a green deck and you still fold to Lucci, kind of. But there are games been able to go where I've been able to out-tempo Lucci and make it work for me. Yeah, so I think right now this leader is very strong. So let's get into it and show you guys some gameplay and show you guys why I believe that. All right, getting into it. Wow, this Usopp was running a lot of Red Rock in his list. Mind you guys, this is still a in beta system for the bounty, being able to test and show replays. So there you're going to see some bugs. I will be sure to point them out when you see them, and keep them in mind as we are making plays. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Usopp went first, pass. I went second. I don't have a 2 Dawn turn, so we are going to pass. But our hand, I think, is relatively good. Obviously, this hand would be cracked if we were going first. We would have Sanji on 3, Tashigi, Smoker Tashigi on 5. But I think this hand's still strong going second. So gonna swing 6 out of our lead. We can always confidently take the first one, and depending on what our hand looks like, we can decide how we counter going forward. So we don't have 8-cost Kid in this hand, so I wouldn't be super excited to take super aggressive here, especially since we have Hody and we know we're probably gonna play Hody on 7. So either Hody or Beckman. So we're just gonna actually swing. We're going to play our Sanji for 3, and if I can pause, can I pause? Okay, so what we did here is we played Sanji for 3 Dawn, right? And mind you, we're on our 4 Dawn turn. This is just a little bit of extra value. Now, if you're playing a black deck or a blue deck, and Usopp happens to be both of those, ideally you swing 5 here. In this instance here, it didn't matter because Usopp's always going to block with this Adeo here to get their leader value. But you ideally swing before this so you can get so you can play around their triggers. However, if you're playing against a matchup where you're not worried about that, this is a little trick. So you play Sanji for 3 and you attach a Dawn to Sanji. You now have a 7 cost or a 7k powered character on your board. That enables your lead effect and just gives you that little bit of extra value to swing 7 into their life. So we'll go ahead and unpause, swing 7. Like I said, he was always going to block. And then his leader effect, he draws a card and then pass. So very, he doesn't have board tempo set up. He hasn't seen stage, which is super beneficial to us, and he hasn't seen leader. Which is also super beneficial to us. So kind of a low roll here for the Usopp, but it's a very strong start for us, especially since we know we're going into Sanji or into Tashigi or Smoker Tashigi next turn. So he swings 6. We're just gonna trash the 2k. Like I said, we don't have Kid in hand, so there's really no need for us to kind of take freely. And I think that's one thing that you can get caught up in this deck, is you're like, oh, I have to play towards Kid. But that's not always the case. Like I said, Hody is probably the route we go here. And we want to make sure we're not Hodying ourselves into a position where we Hody ourselves down to 0 life or 1 life and they have enough characters on board to kill us. So we're going to swing the 6k first. That's just to play around any potential triggers. He trashed a 2k and then he actually took that damage. No trigger there. And then so we're going to play the Smoker and then use our lead effect and restand 2 Dawn, and then Smoker effect, restand a Dawn. So this is one of those glitches. Right now the replay system does not enjoy extra Dawn restanding. So this one extra Dawn does not exist. It restood 4 instead of 3. We're only restanding 3 Dawn a turn. I want to make sure that we're pointing that out and being super clear here. So we play Tashigi, Smoker Tashigi. So why do you play Smoker Tashigi on curve, right? Wouldn't it be better if I wanted to play more aggressive to play Smoker into Sanji, right? I mean, technically I would be swinging, if I defend this Cavendish or the Sanji from Cavendish, I'd be swinging 6, 6, 7, whatever my leader swings, right? The idea though is that I'm playing against a removal deck. So if you're playing against like Ploofy or black deck, blue deck, even red decks, right? Because of Mulgun, we have to play Tashigi alongside our Smoker, and that's what these cards were designed for, to protect the Smoker. If they have an answer to Tashigi on curve, that's fine, right? It's not the end of the world. But if they answer our Smoker, we're kind of slowed down on our tempo, right? So that's why you always want to play Tashigi when applicable, and this also helps you set up the wall in your later turn. So now, like, if I draw Kid and I have Rosinante in hand, I don't have to worry about setting up Tashigi and Rosinante. That makes sense, right? So he's actually going to play Kyros, and this is the exact same reason why, right? So you guys can see it here on the left-hand side. He deploys Kyros, and he tries to bounce my Smoker. I think replay is broken here. Let's see if it fixed itself. He does not. He does not rest my Tashigi, or he does not bounce my Smoker. So I keep in mind throughout the rest of this video that there is a Smoker on board. Instead, I rest my Tashigi. He swings 6 and a 5, and draws a card, draws 2 cards, and then trashes cards. I actually 6 and a 5, and he caught me slacking the one time I don't have a 2k. So I let him go, and then he swings into my Sanji. I get the actual value of drawing a card. And mind you guys, remember, there's a Smoker on board, so keep that in mind. Right now he's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in hand, and I have a Smoker on board. So this is actually, I think, a small misplay for me in this turn. Let's see what I do here. I'm at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Dawn. Going to 8, I believe. So we draw, we get a 2k, go to 8 Dawn. Our Smoker spawned back, so we're good there. We swing 7. So knowing that we have a Beckman in hand, the correct thing to do here, and it doesn't end up being punishing, but what we should have done is Beckman while he had 6 cards in hand, so that way he doesn't get leader effect value. Beckman the Cavendish, and then swing, just to play around their lead effect. So he counters out. Yeah, like I said, I play Beckman, I trash the Cavendish, misplay on my side. He ends up drawing another 2k too. So a pretty relevant misplay in the end here. And then, yeah, keep in mind, guys, the replay is restanding an extra Dawn. I don't have all this extra Dawn. So we swing 7. He counters out again. Again, this is kind of traditional Usopp things. And then I play a blocker. So if he finds Zoro and reduction, he can't answer my smoker. However, if he finds Red Rock, which we see in hand, he can Red Rock my smoker here. Be a little unfortunate, but it's also a slow play for him, I think. So I think we allow it. So he's going to go 5 at life here. I'm actually going to take... He's going to go 9. I can't go down to 1. Like I said, this is a route where we're potentially playing Hody next turn. Yeah, he's just going to grab Blade, bottom deck my smoker, and then play a Bartolomeo. 3 cards in hand. I think we can do 2 things here. We can try to contest board. And then knowing that he's at such a low hand size as well, we can also decide to start pushing life here. So we're going to draw for turn, draw Ardon, and I'm just going to swing 7 lead here. I think knowing that I played Hody, we could have done this the other way. I give him an extra card here. He takes damage. I don't see what he got. But what I end up doing here is I end up swinging 11 into Kyros. And I think if I'm going to do that here, you always swing 11 into Kyros first. Just because he would have less cards, you're more likely to get rid of the Kyros in that situation. So again, small misplays, but that's why replays are such an awesome addition to the OP bounty things. I can find these niche things, these niche lines like this, and correct them going forward. So yeah, so I play Hody, I rest the blocker, I swing 11, and actually, let's see if it was relevant. So if I swing 11 here, just off the known cards in hand, I mean, he does have a 2 and a 1, but that would put him down to 1 card in hand, right? So he'd be less likely to counter in that situation than he is now, because now he has an extra card. 2 and a 1 still brings him down. He still has 2 more cards in hand, right? And then he's knowingly probably going to take life as well. So yeah, he's just going to trash. He gives me 2 2Ks actually, and has 2 blockers in hand. I'm just going to swing 5 of life. He's going to counter, and then I'm just going to deploy another blocker. Like I said, we played Hody, but we made sure we had a way for us to not die. Luckily, he doesn't have stage here. That's a good draw for him, seeing the 7-cost Luffy. I don't think he would be able to clear much here. He also draws the Red Rock for turn, so he's going to have an answer to Hody, I think, as well. And then potentially play a blocker or 2. But he's going to swing 9. I'm going to block. He's going to swing 5. I'm also going to block. And then he's going to Red Rock, get rid of the Hody, and then I think play out Frankie. But he doesn't have a Leo in trash, hasn't seen a Searcher this game, so his Frankie is likely just going to develop another blocker or, you know, the sort like that. So yeah, I think we are pretty strong. We're going to draw for turn. And I think this is a situation where we know he's not going to have the bodies on board to go for a game next turn. And I have a lot of counter in hand. So I'm actually going to take the time to play Smoker. And then I'm going to leader effect, Smoker effect. Right. And mind you, replay bug. So there's 1 additional Dawn here. Doesn't exist. I'm going to swing 6. He actually doesn't have the counter for it. So he blocks. And then I'm going to go ahead and play Luffy. Luffy's going to swing 7. As you guys can see, he doesn't have the counter for it. So he has to take. And then I'm going to deploy another blocker. So here we are. We're in a strong situation. There's no real avenue for him to go for game. I guess he could play like Rebecca, but he doesn't. Rebecca Searcher, try to find stage, and to Rebecca Kyros. He also drew a Leo for turn, but I think he sees that he has no chance. I think if he knows that he has to go for game, or block her up, swinging 7 with leader wasn't the correct thing to do. But yeah, he's just gonna swing 9 at board. I'm obviously gonna block. He's going to play a Bartolomeo, and then he's going to play a Manstry and try to get more counter from hand. But yeah, he just concedes from there. I think the game was over just from the amount of swings I had. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't even know what I was going to draw in that scenario, but definitely was super over if I saw another Hody in that instance. So yeah, that is the Usopp matchup. We definitely got lucky, right? He low rolled on Searchers and no stage, but I find that this matchup is generally winnable, similarly, regardless if they see stage or not. So let's get into another match here. All right, so this one is against Shanks, which is one of our harder matchups, I think, especially in a build like his, right? His build was super aggressive. You see the 3-cost Zoros, the 5-cost Luffys. The rush builds are really rough for us. I decided to keep my hand. I was going first, mainly just because I had Tashigi Smoker in hand. Probably a questionable keep. I also had Virgo, so if Virgo found me Sanji, it would have been nice. It did not find me Sanji. Instead, it found me the 2-cost event. He has no 2-Dawn turn, especially in a list like this. I guess if he could be playing like Nami Searchers or something like that, but nothing there for him. So yeah, he's just going to pass to us. We're going to draw a card. We just top deck the Sanji. I bet you didn't think about that. Play the Sanji. No point in swinging. He has lead effect here. I think that's a small thing. I don't know. I don't know. You know, if it's correct or not to swing here. I don't swing here because 9 times out of 10, they're going to lead ability here, right? Like that. I think that's a given. But what if they don't have a Lucky Roo? What if they don't have a turn 2 play, right? And you swing this 5 unnecessarily at them, you actually give them the turn 2 play. So I'm not sure if it's correct or not to swing, but at the moment, I've just don't. So yeah, I just play the Sanji, and then I will pass my turn after that. We can speed this up, right? 1.7, make it a little bit faster. So yeah, I enter. He draws a Beckman. His turn's pretty simple. You swing 6. I take. He plays. He swings 5. I give him a 2K counter. It feels bad giving him the Tashigi there, but I felt like I kind of had no other option here. So the thing about red is, especially when it comes to fighting for board, is that we could poke out their hand here. So we're going to play our Smoker, restand 3 of our Dawn. Guys, remember that it's, you know, messed up and we have extra Dawn here. And then I swing 8 into the Smoker. So the other, or into the Zoro. The other play here is to swing 6 into the Zoro, which wouldn't have been bad, especially assuming because he just gave us leader ability on the first 6 swing into it, and then play a blocker. However, I find that my thought process here was that this card is more valuable as a counter right now in this specific scenario than it is being played on the body. Being played as a body on the field. And I would rather guarantee clear that body than allow him to have 2 Zoros on the field or play Zoro into Luffy, right? Then the game definitely snowballs if he has a 5-cost Luffy in hand. So we clear that first Zoro, and I still side on that, thinking that that is the correct play to make there. So we don't have this 1-Dawn open, so we don't have any events or anything relevant here. So we just swing 8 and pass, and it's going to go to his turn. He's gonna swing 7-6, pretty aggressive here. I end up taking the 7, and then I trash Notama to survive. So here's a scenario: we swing 7, and it kind of decides the rest of our turn here. We don't feel comfortable playing Hody, so instead we're gonna do the super busted 7 on turn that I talked about last game, where we're gonna play Smoker, restand 3 Dawn, and then play Luffy, swing 7 as well. So a lot of value here. Able to swing a lot of times, and now we have the board. He has to draw the answers. Now he does have a Beck. He has multiple Beckmans, right? I just realized there's a Shanks leader in his discard. That's funny. But yeah, so he draws another Zoro, and then he's gonna set up a blocker, I assume, is the play here. Yeah. And then also set up 2-Dawn. I'm not sure what the 2-Dawn was for. I think he's bluffing Red Hawk here, but Red Hawk can't actually hit anything on my board, especially since he just killed the Sanji. Even then, the Sanji wasn't a target because it's a 6K on my turn. So I draw for turn. We're going to Hody, and we have 2 blockers we can play. So we're going to actually try to clear board. We clear the Zoro, we clear the Chopper, and now we get to swing our banished Smokers at life, which he always feels entitled to counter for, and he countered for both of them. And then we'll swing the Hody, he'll take, and then we'll play a Rosinante, and then pass. So right now, I think for us, the rest of our turns are pretty just, scripted. We're going at life. We know that we're on a 2-turn limit, it seems like here. So what happens is he plays a Rayleigh, he goes -3, -2, and he popped my blocker, and then he swung, 6 into 3, and then I used the 2-cost event, buffing my Luffy up. So let's see, to 6, and then minusing his, back up to 6, and then minusing his leader. So my Luffy lives. I just have enough swings on board to threaten lethal. And I have another blocker, so I don't feel like it's unrealistic for him to lose here. So I just swing 7s. Swing 3 7s because this is reduced by Rayleigh. I swing another 7. And then I swing out here. I think we might be in a glitch. I think he has 1 less life. Because there's no reason why I swing 10 here. Otherwise, yeah. So I think we're definitely glitched out here. I swing 10 into his last life. As you can see, he has a 1k in hand, so there was no real way for him to win that game. So that was a fun one. A good example of how the Shanks matchup can work. The flip side of that is they see all their rushers and then I just instantly die because, you know, what else am I supposed to do? I played a Shanks today, like I said earlier in the video, got hit by 3 mulligans and just instantly died. All right, one more here. Just want to show you guys one more matchup. This should be a relatively quick one. Just show you guys how polarizing that the smoker into Blackbeard matchup can be, especially if we go first and we see a curve like this. So we see Sanji and we see Hody. Hody so good in this matchup because it's just rush, and luckily normally they are limiting what we can do. They are black holing us, so Hody actually doesn't take a life most times, and he's just a rush character, so pretty strong in this matchup. Allows us to keep the tempo. So we're actually going first. We're gonna want to pass, and he actually has the Shiryu in hand, so him going second is kind of beneficial for him, but works out for him. He's gonna play stage into my era, I believe, and then pass the turn. So our turn is pre-scripted. We're just gonna swing 5. He's gonna take, and then we're gonna play the Sanji. And then his turn in response is pre-scripted as well. It should be swing 5, play Shiryu, KO my Sanji, and it looks like that is exactly what is going to happen. He's going to resolve stage, he's going to black hole me, he's going to swing 5, and then I'll take. The reason why you take there is because, as you can see, I just kind of don't have a 5-down turn here. So I'm looking for Smoker in that instance, or Luffy. Didn't see either, but I do have another Sanji, which works out pretty well. So it looks like our turn here is just going to be simply swing 7, play another Sanji. Or even better, we can swing 3, restand 2, and then play Tashigi as well. That's actually a much better line. I'm happy that I saw that in the middle of the game. This allows us to go just a little bit wider on board and then also set up for protection for our board a little bit, which is very annoying for Blackbeard here. So he actually has to black hole the Tashigi and answer that immediately. So yeah, he swings 5, I counter out of the first, and then he swings 5 again with Shiryu, and then I take, and then I'm black hold, right? So this is where Hody is strong. I'm gonna swing 5 there. I'm gonna swing 6 at life. I'm gonna play the Hody restand 2 Don. I'm gonna hit him down to 1 life. Unfortunately, he gets a Tippus kick trigger and it hits my Sanji, but fortunately for me, that is going to give me another Hody Jones for next turn as well. So he is a little bit, he does not have a blocker to play. He actually trashes it here because the way for him to actually answer my board is to swing into, so I think this Hody is guaranteed removed, so I think he's stronger. I gave this -2 or -3 and then finger pistol this. So this Hody's actually gone. Again, replay bug. And then he swung 5. I used the 2-cost event, or he swung 8. I used the 2-cost event to counter, make me at 8, and then reduce the Sirius so he has 1 less swing. And then I also trashed a 1k Beckman as well to not take that life. So this Hody's gone, but we have another Hody in life, which makes this turn really simple for us, or in hand. So we're just going to restand 2. We're going to swing 8 and take, and then we're just going to swing 9 and pray he doesn't have it. If he doesn't have it, I mean, I don't die regardless, but yeah, as you guys can see, he doesn't have it. He only has 8k counter in hand and 2 10-cost teachers. So if he made it to the 10-cost turn, we were kind of in a scary position, but we were able to kill him before that was even a threat. And that's how fast this matchup can generally go for us. And it can go even faster if we see the 5-cost Luffy and like Smoker on curve. If we have that pivotal 7-Don turn that you guys saw me hit earlier, where it's Smoker into Luffy, and then we curve into Hody, and then we see another Hody, like the game just ends in 3 minutes. It's super strong, super good. Yeah, so there you have it, guys. That is the deck. I've been having a ton of fun with it. I hope this type of video is good for you guys and you guys enjoy it, and we're able to see the lines and kind of understand the reasonings why behind the plays I made, and hope you guys kind of get awakened and start making those plays on your own. If you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure to leave a like down below and comment and subscribe. And until the next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.